Okay, so welcome, Karolina, to Escape the Rat Race Radio. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you very much.
It's great to have
Excited.
you on here. I know, I can't wait to hear your story today. So, as with all Escapees episodes, we split this into three parts. So, where you were is part one, part two, where you are now, and part three, where you want to get to. So,
Yay.
would you mind just starting, Carolina, by introducing yourself and letting everyone know what business you're in and what specifically that involves on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. My name is Karolina Adamczyk, and I run a business called Adamczyk. And I've set that up about just almost 2 years ago now. And what that involves is we are working with developers to create beautiful properties that sell quicker. And that means we're creating all of the interiors for that and also show homes. So what that involves is a lot of coffees, meeting potential clients, coming in, designing, and also bringing in our furniture at the end to make the wow effect when the buyer comes through the door.
Yeah, well, I've not seen any of the properties in real life, but I've seen the pictures
Mhm.
and the images, and they really do look absolutely beautiful. So
Thank you.
let's dive into part one then, Carolina, of where you were. So would you mind telling everyone listening right now where you used to work and what you used to do?
Yes, so my career is in banking. I'm one of those people that escaped banking. So the true rat race, I guess. And I've only just escaped, so I am about 5 days out. So the freshest escapee that you're going to get on this with me. And what I used to do up to last week was I was a product manager, a senior product manager at Lloyd's Banking Group, and that involved looking after one product, asset finance, and everything that involves. Making sure that we're in line with regulatory changes, that marketing is there, that we're supporting sales, that the strategy of the product is correct. But I've also done other bits previously in other banks, which were around program management, project management, relationship management. So it prepared me very well for this journey that I'm going on right now.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And so at what point, Carolina, did you realize that you didn't want to continue down that corporate path any longer? And what were some of the first steps that you took to start changing your situation?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to have my own business, and that came from my parents also working for themselves, and they were always flexible with us, always with us in the house because they work from home, and I wanted the same. But I got a bit stuck. I went to study management because of the business side, and then I ended up abroad in Belgium. Then I got a really nice job, but they moved me to Holland, and I kind of followed with whatever was happening. Every new opportunity was even more exciting than the previous, and as a result, I've traveled all around the world with my banking job. And about 2 years ago, I decided that the traveling is lovely, and I really enjoyed it. But I would love to do something for myself. And the thing for myself that I was always doing and I loved was interior design. And I thought, well, why not mix the business with pleasure? Why not do something in the area that I enjoy doing the most? And that's how it happened. About 4 years ago, I started looking into property, about my first project, then my next project, then people saw what I'm doing, and the business evolved from there.
Yeah. And what were the parameters or some of the decisions that helped you to decide when was the right moment to actually make that
Good
switch?
question. Good question. I don't think there is ever a right moment. So I think the fear always holds us back. So even though I knew and I was running this business for about 2 years while still being in a full-time job, and then recently in a part-time job, there is never a right moment. That there is such huge fear of something happening. But actually, when you think about it, is it rational? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And so at some point, you just need to cut off the link, cut off that chain. It's almost like a chain holding you back. And you just have to go for it. So there wasn't any huge revelation. There was just like, I can continue in this space forever, just working 9 to 5 and doing the business in the evenings and at the weekends. Or I can give myself space to make it really amazing by having all the time for my business.
Yeah.
And this was just, we're doing it now or never, and that's what happened.
Yeah. So that moves us nicely into part two, and you alluded to it earlier, but how long ago was it since you quit the rat race? And can you remember your escape the rat race date, Karolina?
Yes, my escape the rat race days was 26th of April, 2018, the big date.
And I'm sure that'll be etched on your memory.
Years,
Yeah.
12
Yeah.
years in a corporate.
So as you said, you are very fresh to owning your own business and actually having that freedom. So can you share with us three of the biggest realizations that you've had in this short space of time from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I love that question. So the first one I would say is the team. And the first 18 months I've been doing I was in my business on my own, and also I was full time in banking. So I got to a point where I almost exhausted myself, because you cannot continue with that for 2 years. And so at some point when you experience such huge pain, it triggers you doing something about it. And it triggered hiring my first person, which was amazing. She's in the business and it's just super lovely. So from that point, I've had no fear anymore for hiring, and I started doing that more and more of that. And there is 6 of us right now. So the biggest thing is really get people in, because it feels very lonely on the journey on your own. So if you have advisors, mentors, whoever it is that you can get around you, it doesn't have to be an employee, but sometimes it can be a family member that helps you. It just makes it so much more enjoyable, fun, and a happy place. So that would be my first realization. The other thing is that you're not good at everything, even though you might think you are. So the art of leverage, which kind of links to my hiring people point. I know very well what I'm not very good at, and I know very well what I'm good at. I mean, I've had many years of experience learning about that. So definitely, reach out to whoever can help you. If it's a paid help or unpaid help, if you hate doing your admin, find a VA. That's the first step, the biggest thing. Find the admin person, and then everything's gonna flow from there. And I guess my third one is that the business is all about relationships. So I spend a lot of time building relationships with people that are potential clients, but also really anyone who wants to learn about the business and who wants to go on this journey, and who can be a part of it. So I get a lot of energy from inspired people, and they can be, in any part of the business. They can do whatever, even a corporate job. But if they have this amazing energy that just drives you forward, I think that's what life is all about. So find people that drive you forward, have coffees, network, just give them your time, and it's going to turn into something amazing.
Yeah, really, really good points there, Karolina. And I'm a big fan of wealth dynamics. I talk about this a lot on the Escape the Rat Race podcast. Is that something you've come across? Have you taken any psychometric test? Yeah,
I have taken. I am a creator. I remember that.
Oh, well, that would not surprise me at all. But it's very true what you say, is that it's understanding yourself and what your strengths are, and then the areas where you need to bring in some support as quickly as possible, because it can really suck the life out of you, can't it? Trying to do everything. When you're an entrepreneur and you're literally at the early stage of setting up your business and you've got so many different things to manage and think about, then having someone else, even if it's just a part-time VA to begin with, like low cost, but just offloading some of those things that are not your strengths, and allowing you to focus on the entrepreneur side of the business, which is growing it and speaking to people and making sales and bringing in the business.
And always speak to people that are better than you. I mean, find the people that have already gone through this journey, because when you're on your own, it's just you're in your head and you don't know what to tackle first. I should do marketing. I should do this. I should do social media. I should do coffees. Yeah. And it's really like you can get really overwhelmed if you don't know what's that bit that will drive your business forward the most. And if there are people that have already done it, they will tell you, do not bother with print advertising, go to social media, or they can give you great tips. So power of mentors.
Absolutely. So moving into part 3 then, Karolina, of where you want to get to. So did you set yourself any goals or targets when you decided to leave your job and start your own business? And have you, in your 5 days, reached them?
love it. Yeah, so I have set myself goals and targets, which I will not disclose here just yet, but let's have this conversation in a year's time. They will be much bigger. And but we haven't reached them yet, but we are, on our way. So the reason why I've left is because I feel comfortable about the pipeline that we have. Property is really funny business. Everything gets quite delayed, so it's going to be a bit later than I expect, I'm sure. But because I have so many relationships that I've built up and people that are around me, I'm confident that we can smash the targets fairly soon.
I love the positivity there, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you will do as well. So
Yeah.
do you feel now, Karolina, now you've actually broken free, that you have more potential to achieve your life goals and that you have more control over your time?
I'm sort of a person that thinks that you can always generate more time against the common, conception, because you can sacrifice time, right? You spend some time with your friends. Now you can spend it on working on your business. You can always find more time. But I think what I am finding right now is that I have focus, because when I was at work, 9 to 5, I was at work. And I like to do things very well, so I couldn't, if I was bad at what I was doing 9 to 5, I would feel really bad all over in my life. So I think that focus is going to really help us to smash our targets, because I don't have to think about anything else than only our pipeline, our relationship, our projects, making everything work. So I think that's the game changer over time.
Yeah, and it is easy. I speak to many people who do break free, and they often find that having your own business can soon turn into almost jumping from one rat race into another,
yes,
because you just
totally
have so much to manage and take care of. But at least it is stuff that you enjoy working on, and you do have control over what you say yes and no to, whereas in a job you don't have so much choice.
Yes, correct. Yeah, you can spend a lot of time, and it's a big takeaway, because I think when I was still in my job, I was happy to have coffees with everyone, spend a lot of time networking. But right now, I'm finding that actually there will be some particular time when I can go out and have a networking time, and times when I need to be disciplined and be in the office and work on this. So we're putting more of a structure around it.
Yeah, and it's a constant learning process, isn't it? As we spoke about the other day. Great. So, final question then. What's the one most important thing, Karolina, that you believe is going to help you progress over the next 12 months with your business?
It's going to be people, because I really believe in the power of people and of relationships and the network that I have around me right now. I feel so grateful for. And it's been, it's taken a lot of time to build it, but the people that I started to work with as clients have now turned into friends. And when we have an opportunity to show to one client how great we are, how we can actually speed up the process of selling a property, they recommend us to their network. So it's kind of that's actually what grows your business, right? It's not, you can have an amazing product, but if no one wants to buy from you, you're doomed. So you really need to find your network that believes in what you do, that have seen the results of what you do, and that will help you achieve your goals.
Yeah, and then a previous guest on Escape the Rat Race Radio was Roger Hamilton, who's the creator of Wealth Dynamics. And he always says, you don't have a business when you have a product, you have a business when you have a customer. So it's just building those relationships, delivering amazing value. And that person then, of course, will spread the word and hopefully bring in new customers and build the business for you. So final words, Karolina, for anyone who's listening right now, they're up on a train, maybe like you used to be on your commute into the city, or stuck in a traffic jam, and they want to do something different with their lives. They've been inspired by what they've heard today from you, but they're still letting that fear hold them back. What would you like to say to them?
I would like them to think about what's the worst that can happen, and are they okay to do those sacrifices? Because actually you can always sacrifice something to make something else work. So what's the worst that can happen, and what is your longer term plan, I guess? So my plan was always to have fun, and that's my first priority, to have a business that is fun, that makes me happy to go to work, that brings joy to other people, and that delivers really cool results. So yeah, definitely first realization, when you actually realize that there is not that much that you can lose, but there is so much you can gain, yeah, then the fear goes away.
Brilliant.
And will always be fear. There will never be a perfect moment. So you just have to go for it.
Yeah. And it's often said, that when you have fear, it's because the opportunity lays the other side. So it's because there's something exciting that, is there for you to be had, but you've got to take that first step. Yeah.
Correct.
Karolina, it's been fantastic talking to you today. You've been a great escapee guest on Escape the Rat Race Radio. I look forward to catching up with you soon and wish you all the very best with your business.
Thank you. Thanks. Speak soon, Christian.
All right. Thank you, Karolina.